Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Charles. You're watching Save Our Children TV. Back at it for a brand new video. I know it's late, but we're gonna do an overnight video. And before I get to make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and post notifications are on, so you won't be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. But before I get started, I got four stories for you guys. Before I get started, I have a story I want to talk about that popped up randomly, and this is a bonus story.
Come on, it's too late to be going fucking live.
So,
I'm fucking tired. You live?
yes, I'm live. I was supposed to go live very earlier, but I was busy, so I'm going live now.
No.
So, the first story is a bonus story. We got four stories tonight, but I'm going to give you guys a bonus story that just popped up on my phone 7 hours ago. A soccer coach is arrested after videos of CR is found on his phone, police say. I'm going to talk about that story first. A popular soccer coach in Tennessee, Texas, was arrested after police say he left his cell phone behind at a restaurant, and employees discovered videos of him blank Abe's unconscious boys. Camilo Hurtado Campos, who's 63, was taken into custody on suspicion of child rape and exploitation of a minor on Sunday, according to the Franklin Police Department. He used his job as a soccer coach to lure underage boys to his home and aid them. So this is the image from the police department. Police said Campos has lived in Franklin for 20 years and would go between neighboring areas to recruit young children from school playgrounds to play on the soccer team. After gaining their trust, Campos invited many other kids to his home, where he drugged and then blanked them, a police statement says. Authorities began investigating Campos after receiving a call from a local restaurant, where police say he had left his phone. According to police, restaurant workers started looking through Campos' phone in hopes of finding a way to locate the owner, but instead discovered unconscionable videos and pictures of children. During the search of the phone, police said they found hundreds more videos and photos of blank abuse material. They alleged that Campos recorded himself blank abusing unconscious boys between the ages of 9 and 17. Detectives said that the children in these videos were in such an unconscious state that they might not even realize that they are victims. The statement says Franklin police asked anyone who child had been in contact with Campos, particularly if he was the soccer coach, to contact him as the investigation continues. In a statement to HuffPost, a spokesperson for the Franklin Special School District said Campos allegedly recruit from area playgrounds and soccer fields after school hours and on the weekends. We can tell you that Mr. Campos was never employed by our school district to coach any of our teams. The spokesperson said we are heartbroken for the families who are affected by Mr. Campos' alleged criminal acts. It is unclear what Campos as an attorney. The district attorney office did not immediately respond to HuffPost's request for comment. This story reminded me a lot about the one story I talked about yesterday, where a strange man went to a school pretending to pick up a young girl who he says was a so-called child, and turns out he was looking to lure children. And you got to be careful with social media and saying things. You just got to be careful with what you do in today's society. You have horrible people, who live among us and who will not think twice of taking advantage of either you or your children. So we gotta be smart. And this person clearly should have been in jail a long time ago, but the system is broken. So, tell me about that particular story. There's so many stories right now where a missing 2-year-old girl found dead far from home days after a kidnapper. I think I heard about that story. Four arrested as missing 13-year-old girl found after a major police search. Uh, Atkinson man charged with child M. Wife Buxton after four. Him and his wife was charged with that. And there's a lot of horrifying stories against children in the media, and it's just sick. I'm gonna move on to our first story. And this story is in the neck of the woods out in Buffalo. This story happened in Buffalo. 13-year-old girl, nope, 13-year-old Buffalo girl is killed by a stray bullet after leaving a party. We're going to talk about that story first. I meant to talk about it. I believe it was today is Monday. Well, no, it's Tuesday. But I had dropped it Monday. This happened third. I think it happened Thursday. I said a week ago, so I gotta pull it up. Give me a second. Give me this one second. This happened on Friday, so Buffalo police said 13-year-old girl was shot and killed early Friday. Police were called to Broadway in Mortimer just after 12:30 a.m. Friday. 20 seconds confirmed that the victim was 13-year-old Miracle Hunt. So Buffalo police are investigating a shooting that took the life of a young teenager Friday night. 20 seconds confirmed that the victim was 13-year-old Miracle Hunt. Police were called to Broadway in Mortimer just after 12:30 a.m. Friday. Buffalo police said Buffalo police told 2 on your side she was not the intended target, and about an hour before she had left a house party blocks away with friends after police told them to break it up. The level of gun violence and the availability of illegal weapons is just absolutely senseless. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown said there's no suspect description to share from police just yet. But they told 2 on your side that they're looking at several videos that might lead them to the killer. Buffalo police said they are looking into whether stolen Kias may have been involved. They did say someone shot once out of a vehicle hitting a 13-year-old, then taking off. Mayor Byron Brown says investigators are looking at video captured by several cameras from the scene before, during, and after the shooting. My message is that those responsible do not be comfortable. Do not be comfortable. There is a video, and police will do everything that they possibly can to follow up on that. Mayor Brown said. So far, in the first week of July, there have been 10 shootings in Buffalo. Four people have died, including an 18-year-old who shot at a park this week. He was also an innocent bystander. But year to date, from January the 1st to June 30th, the number of shootings in Buffalo was down 31%. The number of homicides during that same time period was down 55%. I'm not foolish to think that we're going to rest on our laurels. And we certainly understand that the spikes are going to happen, and this is how we respond to those spikes to stop them, to prevent those retaliations. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Wilmelger said anyone with information is asked to call or text the confidential tip call line at 716-847-2255. Now, this is a news video. News video. The press conference.
I want to thank the members of the media for joining us. We want to brief the media and the community on two fatal shootings, one overnight and one on Wednesday. Before I provide more detail, I just want to share that our hearts are very heavy right now. This is two senseless shootings, the lives of two young members of our community taken. A 13-year-old girl on Broadway and Mortimer, 12:30 a.m. overnight, leaving a party at roughly 11:30 a.m., milling around with some friends, and is shot. She was not the target of the shooting, according to our police. An innocent bystander in this shooting that took her life at 12:30 a.m. On Wednesday, at Perkins Park on Woodlawn Avenue at approximately 9:30 p.m., a group of young people were gathering. Again, a vehicle comes down the street, opens fire, shots are exchanged, and Columbus Brooks, an 18-year-old innocent bystander, not involved in that activity, but in the park with friends, loses his life. This is unacceptable. This is intolerable. The level of gun violence and the availability of illegal weapons is just absolutely senseless. That something cannot be done is not being done in the United States of America to end this. We are losing members of our community. We are losing members of our families to senseless, illegal gun violence. I will say, in the case of the 13-year-old young girl whose life was taken, there is good video of that incident. The police are working on it. My message is to those responsible: do not be comfortable. Do not be comfortable. There is video, and the police will do everything that they possibly can to follow up on that. As with any homicide, any shooting in this community, one homicide, one shooting, one too many. Again, our hearts are heavy. Our hearts are broken. at the loss of life of two innocent young people, a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old, to senseless gun violence with illegal weapons. To provide you with more detail, I'm now going to turn things over to our police commissioner, Joseph Gramalia.
Thank you, sir. So last night there was a gathering involving dozens of people at a house party several blocks away from where the shooting occurred. There were people out in the yard. There were adults. There were children. By all indications, there were no real issues until the end of the night, about 11:30. There was a disturbance call where Buffalo police officers responded. There was some kind of a disturbance that caused our police officers to disperse the crowd and end that party. That ended without further incident. A short time later, some of that group had moved down to Broadway Jefferson. There's a market over there in a parking lot where there were a few people milling around. At that point, officers pulled up and suggested that they continue to move on. We had officers that were still around the area. It was, again, a little time later, about 12:30, the mayor had stated that our victim, our 13-year-old victim, and a few other people were on the sidewalk on Mortimer at Broadway when a vehicle drove by, fired, we believe at this time, one shot, striking the 13-year-old victim. She was declared deceased on the scene. We have no indication whatsoever that she was the intended target. We are investigating information that there may have been someone targeted amongst the people that were there. But as I said, there is no indication whatsoever that this poor 13-year-old girl was targeted. I know there's some information out there on whether or not stolen Kias were involved. We are investigating the theft of some Kias. We are looking for a couple of colored vehicles, a red and or black Kia that may be involved. We've got very good video of the shooting. We are continuing to collect more video, and our canvas area of the video is going to be wide and extensive. Our homicide detectives have been out all morning, all day, canvassing as much video. They have appointments with other locations to get video. This isn't just a video canvas of the immediate area of the shooting. We would be going as far back as the party location and beyond that. So this is an extensive investigation. Our detectives were in all night, and a new batch of detectives were brought in this morning and are continuing to work this. We will work this vigorously. With that, we'll take any questions. I can't confirm that there was a stolen Kia because we are still working to identify that. We have reported information that a Kia was involved. So now we are backtracking, working on that. We will place a vehicle in a place, and then we will get that information. And then at that point, we will be able to say whether it was stolen or not. So that's the early information that we have. Once we get that car, we will find out what that car is. At that point, then we will be able to confirm that it was in fact stolen. We are going to take those vehicles in, impound them, and they are going to be processed. So we're going to start wide, and then we're going to narrow down.
Okay, so what I heard about this shooting, that it was black party, but the update is that it was a drive-by shooting. Two things I want to say about this particular story. One, where are the community leaders in the community? In my opinion, there should be people angry about this. They should be walking down the street, protesting with signs to call for justice. For this 13-year-old who was killed and for her responsible to turn themselves in. And I think that it's time for the community to start knocking on doors of getting the answers because you know somebody saw something and they go say nothing. But my question is, if that was your child, would you want someone to speak for your child who can't speak for themselves anymore? You know what I'm saying? And again, somebody said to be a coward and commit this murder, and now they're hiding from justice. And I think that it's kind of crazy that you really think that you can just run and not gonna be brought to justice. And again, how can you sleep at night? You know, you murdered 13-year-old. How can you sleep peacefully at night knowing that? That should be like conscious on your heart. Let me pull up the victim name. Her name was Miracle Hunt. Miracle Hunt Hunt. We're gonna hear now from the family.
I want to thank the members of the media for joining us. We want to brief the media and the community on two fatal shootings, one overnight and one on Wednesday. Before I provide more detail, I just want to share that our hearts are very heavy right now. This is two senseless shootings. The lives of two young members of our community taken. A 13-year-old girl on Broadway and Mortimer. 12:38.
So we already saw that. So the victim name is Miracle Hunt. R.I.P. Miracle Hunt. You deserve to be shut down and killed. the way that he was killed. And somebody needs to pay for this, and I hope the community will speak up and tell not just the media, but tell the police who they think did it. Because you know somebody needs to pay for this, and I do believe there's more than one person involved. It has to be multiple people, because you gotta imagine drive-by shooting. Typically, drive-by shootings, there are multiple people when the drive-by shootings happen, because there be a lot of multiple people in these vehicles, and so you have one true man, you have a getaway driver, so there's obviously multiple people involved in this, and so we hope to find those involved with bring justice. Like, comment, subscribe, and then move on to our next story. Ohio mother leaves baby home for 10 days to go on vacation. This happened back on June 26, 2023. Ohio on CBS News. Ohio toddler dies after mom leaves her alone for 10 days to go on vacation, prosecutors say. Prosecutors in Ohio have announced murder charges against a woman in the death of her 16-month-old daughter, who authorities said was left home for 10 days while the woman went on vacation. The Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office said Monday that Crystal A. Candelaro, 31, was indicted last week on one count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, and 1 count each of felony assault and endangering children. Prosecutors alleged that Candelaro left the child alone and unattended at her Cleveland home June 6 to vacation in Detroit and Puerto Rico, and did not return until the morning of June 16. Authorities said she called police after finding the child unresponsive upon her return. So she went on vacation for 10 days. Cleveland police and fire personnel responded, and the victim, who was described as extremely dehydrated, was pronounced deceased. It is unfathomable that a mother would leave her 16-month-old child alone without any supervision for 10 days to go on vacation. Prosecutors Michael O'Malley sent a statement: as parents, we are supposed to protect and care for our children. O'Malley wrote, imagining the child suffering during her last days of life alone is truly horrifying. It's truly horrifying, and we'll do everything in our part to seek justice on her behalf. It is unclear whether Candelaro has an attorney. Court records do not list an attorney for her, and the county public defender office said Friday that it was not, as of that point, representing her. I want to say this. What was more important? What was more important by going on vacation, leaving a child home alone for 10 days? You know, the thing is this. You could have asked the neighbor maybe to babysit for 10 days. You could have planned ahead and maybe asked a family member. Different things you could have did. And you took the coward way out. You're a coward for leaving your child home alone. And you gotta imagine those 10 days, that child's suffering each and every day with no food, no water, no bath, no clean clothes, no nothing. Because then they get about going on vacation to meet, you might as well say it, a man than be a home child. Because the suspicion arises, if you're going on vacation, why didn't you take a child with you while you went on vacation? Which means that you went to meet someone else while on vacation. But I guess your child life didn't matter so much as the other person you will see. So at the end of the day, this mother deserves life in prison without parole. If convicted, I think that we need to start setting examples for this people like this. I'm pretty sure though she's charged with like three different murders, so I'm pretty sure she probably, if found guilty, she probably not gonna hit with the death penalty. Um, if not, left up her own plea, but you should never see the light of day again. To take advantage of your child and just leave her home alone so you can go on vacation. It's selfish and there's consequences for that. And you're in a place where people don't care nothing about you. As soon as they hear what you sing, soon after they hear what you in there for, fresh meat, you're done. So I hope you can hold your own down in jail. So I'm gonna say, like, comment, subscribe, turn post notification on. Keep this family in thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Tyler who was murdered by a mother. I'm on Law Crime. Our next story is about a fugitive grandmother who was arrested for a hit and run, which an 18-month-old was killed. So, a fugitive grandmother is arrested for allegedly hit and run in which an 18-month-old ran out, excited to see her, and was killed. After almost a month on the run, police said they arrested the grandmother runner for allegedly killing her child granddaughter with a vehicle before speeding away from the scene. Cops in Jeffersonville, Indiana, have been looking for Lisa G. Tesh, 51, since June. It turned out she was across the Ohio River in Louisville, Kentucky. Police announced her arrest on Facebook. Tech was taken into custody Friday afternoon on the Jeffersonville charge and also outstanding warrants from Kentucky, police said. In her granddaughter's death, she is charged with failure to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death. She is also accused of probation violation in Indiana for an unrelated charges of assisting law enforcement by using a vehicle, possession of narcotic, drug, criminal recklessness, reckless driving at an unresponsible height or low speed, so to endanger safety and possession of marijuana. Detectives from both sides of the river have worked tirelessly since that incident to bring Lisa Tex to justice. Police with information was implemented that led detectives to the 200 block of Glendale Avenue where they located Tech and one of her family members, Joshua David, and arrested them without incident. Both are in custody on unrelated outstanding warrants. The victim, Eleanor Campbell, 18-month-old, died at Norton Children's Hospital from her injuries. She had been at the Motel 6 on Hospitality Way in Jeffersonville on June 16th with her mother, Cheyenne Allen, and her mother's boyfriend, according to WLKY. Speaking before police identified Tech as the suspect, Allen told the outlet Eleanor darted out when the boyfriend opened the door. The teller ran out of excitement to see her grandmother, according to police and a WTHL report. Allen said Eleanor reached to the parking lot before she could stop her after being struck The driver sped off. I ran for the driver door, Allen reportedly said, then I stopped myself because I knew my daughter was laying there dying. Theft was also wanted for probation violation. Kentucky corrections records showed convictions for theft by unlawful taking or disposing between 500 and 1,000, receiving some property between 500 and $1,000, and theft by deception between 500 and 10,000. My daughter didn't deserve this. Allen said nobody deserved this. A GoFundMe campaign to pay for Eleanor's funeral is 2,135 or 5,000 goals of Monday. Goal as of Monday. Tech remains housed at the city jail in Louisville, and it's unclear if she has retained an attorney. Number one, if a man, black man in particular, but a man, was to commit the same crime as his grandmother did, hit his granddaughter or grandson and killed them, and sped away from the scene, it would have been vehicular manslaughter. So I think that this grandmother probably should have got vehicular manslaughter charges. Because you killed your grandchild with your car and then intentionally left the scene afterwards. So can we think this, and in people's opinions, this could be considered intentional. Because you would then stop after you hit the child. You would have stopped out the car, make sure the child was okay. Maybe call EMS, got her transported to the hospital, probably put his head, probably life. But you continue running over her and killed her. And so I think that as of her charges, including that, she's probably looking at I said she's probably looking at 30 to 60 years in prison. But she clearly should have been off the streets a long time ago. But I hope this child get justice. All right. And let's talk about our last story. This story I just saw on Twitter. But first I wrote up on the news app and then I saw it on Twitter. I am on 13 WMAZ. I cannot play the video. The video is way too graphic. But we're just gonna talk about the story. Most definitely, if I could pull it up. I need an article. There we go. Okay. A Macon, Georgia woman. So Macon, Georgia is gonna take an L, and this is a black woman. Macon woman is arrested for dragging her 9-year-old daughter by her hair, hitting her face. 27-year-old Samaria White is accused of dragging the child by her hair, pulling her up by the hair, and repeatedly yanking the child's hair. This happened July 7th, which it was published. So this happened a couple days ago, I think. A Macon woman was arrested Friday after a shocking video showed her dragging a 9-year-old by her hair and hitting her in the face, according to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. It happened in the Bloomfield neighborhood at 4116 Southview Drive. They said that 27-year-old Samaria White had some neighborhood kids over to play in her pool, according to the incident report, but got mad and sent everyone home. A neighborhood kid who was over at the pool saw White chasing a child on the road and took a video. When White caught up to the child, the video showed her dragging the girl by her hair while hitting her in the face. White dragged the child by her hair, put her up by the hair, and repeatedly yanked the child's hair as the child cried for Right to Stop, according to a video reviewed by 13 WMAZ. We are not releasing the video because of the graphic nature of the video and the fact that a child was involved. Same reason why I won't play this video on here. If you want to see that video, go on Twitter. The child recording the video showed it to the mother, who called the show's office to report it. When confronted by a Bibb County that video, White intentionally denied dragging the child, according to the incident report. But when the child told White about the video, she was arrested and charged with cruelty to children in the first degree. A paramedic who evaluated the 9-year-old reported that she had redness on her chest that was beginning to bruise, according to the incident report. The 9-year-old was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and one of White's relatives agreed to care of all 3 of White's children. The Division of Children and Family Services and the Crime Against Children Unit will be following up, according to the incident report. Okay. Red flag. Can I go back to the charge? The red flag is right here. She was charged with cruelty to children. Cruelty to children. If a man was arrested for the same charge as she did this to her daughter, the same charge if he had did this to his daughter, it would have been aggravated child abuse, amongst other charges. This woman should be charged with aggravated child abuse and cruelty to children at the same time. I mean, this was aggravated child abuse. The way you beat this child down like a dude and punched on this child, and you telling me this was an aggravated child abuse? See, Georgia to me don't have stricter laws to me. If you only charge this woman with cruelty to children, that means y'all gotta y'all guys to start your statute much higher than that. She should have been booked on aggravated child abuse, cruelty to children, child abuse, attempted murder. Because when y'all said she beat that child to the point where she was turning red, that could have been considered attempted murder. You did this all in public, and I think you should be facing 30 years in prison on each count, which will put you in prison for life. Because at this point, you deserve to be in prison for life. And if this is the way you behave and discipline your children, you probably shouldn't have had children in the first place. You have 3 other children, and God knows what you do to your children behind closed doors. And again, if you see abuse, you need to report it. You need to report it, because abuse can turn physical, and then it can get deadly. Somebody can be killed. So if you speculate and see child abuse, report it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good night. Have a blessed night. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye. And we're done.